Yo, 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 it's Jeb in his house. Hey, yo, we're going to space, yo. Hey, yo, we're going to space. Rolling on 909s, making money big time. Hustle Uncle Sam on the taxpayer's dime. We're the spacemen in our space bridges. We gone from rags to buku riches. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. We a G unit, baby, and don't you forget it. We a G force, homie, that's a G level. We on fire like a blade of home down. See you later, but before I'm out, let's launch this Cap Simulator. We a G unit, baby. We a G unit, baby.
Hello everybody, Lord Roots here, and welcome back to another episode of G-Limit. So I've been working most of the week remotely, but I thought I'd get a little bit of KSP in. And just a couple of things. I've added in the official Asteroid Day mod. I figured, well, it's an official mod, so why shouldn't we? So that's one thing there. It adds a number of things, including this huge solar panel, a new scientific instrument here, the Sentinel Infrared Telescope. We also happen to have, if I can find it, one of these probe cores, this big probe core here. And then I believe the last thing it adds is this huge comms dish, where I don't quite, yeah, it's there. The high gain antenna that would be good for us. So those are the things. I'm going to go to our contracts real quick, and I'm going to rescue Berserk Herman. Another thing I want to do as well is something I completely forgot to do, and that was to go to the CCP-1 here and basically come on down over here and grab this bit of science. It's not going to be much, but it's going to be enough. There we go. Well, maybe not. I think we just sent null data. There we go. We'll log that guy and send it out. I'm not planning on coming back to the moon for a while, by the way. I think that in order for the moon to be worthwhile, we need to get some infrastructure in place, and I want to eventually get a space station around, really, Kerbin is one of the guys. But there's also, there's also Minmus and the moon as well. So, first things first here, we just happen to have the, an improved version of the Microlander. And I figured out what was going on with it. So, if we go to the Microlander 1A, what I've done is I've added, well, I thought I added that, but I guess not. I guess I forgot to save it, but this guy needs to be at least 1,000, and then we have drogue chutes as well, just so we don't take any chances. There was also that one staging error that will be good to correct, but that's that. We can use this to make sure that Bob is a-okay. So I'm going to launch this guy real quick and get him on a trajectory for Minmus, and we will take care of that. And then after that, we're going to launch the base as well. So we have Bob here. Why don't we go back to Minmus? What's our phase angle? I think if we can get that phase angle around 30, we'll be good. That way we can have an excellent inclination. In fact, 40 may be better. So we'll get Bob up into space real quick, and we'll see you then. Okay, we're in orbit now, and got just a little bit of inclination. Probably so little, in fact, that it might be better just to not worry about correcting it. We can decide to do that at some point, some other point, and we'll essentially do an off-plane transfer there. And that will be, oh, I don't know, in about 6 days. So I'll make this burn happen really quickly. And maybe we could, you know what, 6 days is plenty. I think we should do that. But then I will launch the base. Okay, that's us. We're now en route to the guy, and I think we're good on our inclination, so I'm going to add the alarm there that's in 5 days, 3 hours. That means, of course, that we need to stagger the arrival time, either before or after. I think after is maybe not such a bad plan, to be honest, but we need to stagger that arrival time. That could be interesting, but no. Silence data from around Kerbin, though, is not a bad idea. And we could definitely get that on our way up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the CCP-3, which is sort of developed after the landing can, with maybe the CCP-1 landing can, that is, with maybe a couple of differences. So if we look at the CCP-3, it has to have 12 people, which is probably the biggest impediment there. Now, I actually want a fairly high thrust-to-weight ratio on this, and if we take a look at this, our delta V, we'll just do that. Our delta V is like 607, which is not really what I would call fantastic. But we could improve that just a little bit and get ourselves a little bit more thrust to weight ratio on that. And that would basically mean that when we land, we have more than enough delta V to land with, because we don't need that much for Minmus. Minmus, you know, especially since we're using our injection stage, Minmus doesn't really take that much, but we can still lift off here. Another thing too is that with this guy, I actually do want to change very slightly the way that it works. I want to, because this is a little bit too unreliable the way it is, I actually am going to tinker around with this real quick, and we need to unlock some parts, of course. One thing that I will unlock is we need this Poodle engine unlocked, and we also need the big decouplers unlocked as well. But we don't have a main cell like we had for this guy, which is a bit of a problem. So my thought is to take advantage of the situation and create a cluster engine. Now the nice thing is, if we unlock Telconnector B, it has fuel cross-feed, and we can use that to pack more fuel in than we would normally have. So this is about a quarter of a tank, and I think, you know, we might be able to do even better with this. I'm just trying to increase the fuel density without making this thing too terribly expensive. Maybe just have to move this guy up a little. But you'll see my rocket whenever we're done with it. And, you know, maybe we could even return it. We'll have to see. But, that'll be then. Okay, this is what I came up with. I've got a cluster of 7 engines here, providing at atmospheric level. Let me just move this here so we don't have an issue. Providing 110 or 1.10 meters per second of delta V. And we should, within reason, be able to get this upper stage up here to provide the remaining 500 or so. Now, I'm actually, you know what, I'll add just a little bit more if I can get away with it. Because, well, you know, I think that's good, actually. Yeah, we're getting to the point of diminishing returns here. It would be nice to send a satellite out, or to have this thing serve as the satellite, rather, for the one satellite contract that we can do. I'm not sure if that is going to work, which is a bit unfortunate, and we may wobble just a little bit. So maybe what I'll do is I'll anchor this guy down. We'll see what adding that anchor point does. Yeah, it doesn't add too much in the way of mass. That thing wobbling is a huge issue, which I think is something we do need to worry about. But I don't think that will quite work the way we want it to. Yeah, it's just going to go like that. So we'll maybe do like this instead. Maybe. Nah, better not. I think we're good just to go ahead and launch. So we'll save that. And the advanced inline stabilizer. Oh yeah, oh, that's something we need to unlock. That I put on there when I was designing it in my little skunkworks file, and I just never got around to doing. This will provide the necessary torque that we need. I'm gonna go a little bit high with this, I think, just because of the thrust to weight ratio. We should be good on our phase angle, but you know what, I'm going to get this back to 30. Anyway, see you once this guy is in orbit. Oh, bad news. We have lost control of the vessel. Which means we're going to be very, very steeply inclined. Oh, we may be in an interesting little pickle here. So this is an unfortunate loss here. Which is a bit of a shame, actually, but you know what, I mean, we do have plenty of money to play around with at this point. I think, we just need, stability. And there is a bit of a trick to this that I am, actually not thinking about. Part of the issue is that our center engine has cut out, too. If we can take one of these guys here, we'll launch. So, you can see it's draining pretty quickly. I just want to keep this guy moving in like this. Alright, this guy, I think we're just going to have to deal with the change in inclination here, as we're too high up to really do anything about. We're going way too fast. I do not want to know how much delta V that's going to cost. That could be a bit of a problem. We may want to refuel this guy. At least, that seems to be a good thing to do. As I don't think we're going to have the delta V to land. Or to transfer, rather. I mean, we might be able to pull off our transfer. But, there we go. So, we need just a little bit more. And that'll be unfortunate, but it'll just have to do, I suppose. Now, here's a question. Do we send fuel over to Minmus, or do we just land this thing? Because I think, we're better off trying to make this thing go off-plane. Which, you know, we really simply cannot do. How far away are we, anyhow? Well, it's going to be the case that we're going to have to do something about this, and I think unfortunately docking up and refueling is going to be the only way we'll get it over there. Because, yeah, I mean, there's just no other real way, unless we can maybe wait around a bit. I mean, maybe the thing to do here, I'll figure something out with respect to that, because, you know, we're too highly inclined. Okay, it'll definitely become necessary to send a refueling mission out. because, we just simply don't have the Delta V. And at least get this guy into orbit. And I don't think it'll be a problem to get it out there once I do. It's just one of those things, though. We now have space debris that we'll want to meet up with. So I'm gonna focus on getting this guy's orbit captured. He's coming in a day afterwards, and I'll briefly launch the refueling mission as that is going to be important that we do that. Okay, this is what we have, and it's way overbuilt, but there's a plan for it. I'm actually going to use this to deal with the satellite contract as well, which I think is a good idea. Although I guess I should recover that real quick and throw on MechJab, or rather Kerbal Engineer, just so that we can get our timings right. Well, let's see, what is our phase angle? You know what, that's probably acceptable for us. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this guy, and you will see us then. Okay, it's not the world's best orbit, but I think we can get to Minmus a little bit more easily now. We'll just have to make this burn happen. Okay, that's pretty good, at least to me. We have plenty of fuel left in this thing. So now it's off to rescuing Berger here. The main thing is, of course, us. Actually, we're a little bit more ahead than I wanted to be. We'll just deal with that for now. But yeah, we'll get old Berger taken care of here. And let's see what contracts we have before we do. You know, maybe we could rescue Rosanna as well. It never hurts to have more than one Kerbal. I mean, I guess for some people it does, but for me it's just fine. But I've made a special craft for the purposes of this rescue, and that is the Rescuer Mark II. Now, I'm thinking we're pretty good with at least getting Berger back. But that's going to be interesting, to say the least. We need to go to ships and go to Berger's derelict. You know what, we're close enough. Oh, why is this thing wobbling? This is probably a bad sign. I mean, I'll try my best, however. Hopefully, the violent shaking will go away. I'm beginning to think this is a lost cause. So, I am going to do my best to recover this. I have no idea what's caused this. Oh, come on, deploy the chute, please. Maybe I should have a way to deploy these chutes otherwise. But, yeah, if this thing doesn't rip itself apart, then we'll just have to see, really. Whatever it is, it does not look like it's having fun. So, I'll recover this. Okay, we're getting pretty close to our launch window. Never really did quite figure out the shaking. But, we'll have to figure something out. It does look to be a little bit offset here. Oh, okay, that phase angle is just very slightly off. Well, let's give it a shot. This right here, I believe, is the cause of my problem. It appears as though the probe core is not quite set up correctly. Well, I think, I'm not entirely sure, I think that this guy up here may fix the shaking, because it has to do with I suppose the clipping. I'll give it another go, and I will probably rescue Rosanna as well. Okay, we are on close approach with Burzer's vessel, and I've already rescued Rosanna. I figured probably wouldn't be worth belaboring the point on that, but I'm just going to get in real close here and hope that Burzer is feeling like being rescued. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he would love nothing better. With that having been said, we're less than 100 meters away, and of course we're going to meet up with him on the light side, or the dark side rather, of the planet. Now, we got this particular issue here that we're such a light craft that things are beginning to wobble around, and that's going to cause us some issues, but I think we'll be okay. It looks like he's in a inline Mark I cockpit, so I'm just going to slow down as much as I can, and we'll point in a way that is easily accessible to him. So, I'm gonna have to get the claw at some point, I think, and maybe get Burzer to do his thing. Or not Burzer, but the claw to bring down all this debris. And then we have another bit of debris as well from launching that thing to Minmus. with the hope possibly being that it might collide with the moon. But at this point, I feel compelled for us to simply recover Berger. And maybe just bring him back so that we can see what we have in terms of personnel now. So that's what we'll do. We'll bring Berger back here, and we will see you then. Okay, we're getting pretty close to the point where I want to deploy the drone chutes here, with the idea that they will slow us down quite a bit. With Berger having been in space for a couple of days, I'm sure he would like to be brought to a reasonable halt. So this is bringing us down now quite quickly. And the nice thing about this is that I don't have to worry about popping the chutes too soon, although I am doing it now, with the hope that Berger will not break his neck when he lands. But we can see that it's not going to be too long. There's really just the last 100 meters here. And we'll recover this vessel. Let's see what we got now in terms of our personnel. Because we did rescue 2 people. We didn't really get anything back for it otherwise, but those contracts are worth it just because of what Kerbals cost. So, yeah, we have a scientist and an engineer, which is great. Unfortunately, Bill and Jeb are gone. But, yeah, I guess that's just the way it happens. So I think we should really end the episode, well, first by checking our contracts, because this has been an expensive little venture, but I don't really see anything that I want just quite yet. So what can we look forward to anyway? Well, we can look forward to this guy being landed probably in the next episode, and we can look forward to this flag being planted as well. I'm going to try to get it much in the same spot, but right now everything just has to meet up, and that's more or less where we're going. Microlander's going to be first, and that's the one with the closest approach. We do have plenty of Delta V here, so I'm going to get this thing oriented in such a way that its solar panels aren't going to need too much in the way of tweaking here. And you know what? We may be able to land Bob. But let's just... we'll try to get him past the SOI so that we can easily take care of this. And that leaves us 2 hours to figure out what to do with the refueler. Now, oops, well, that's no good. That's in 2 hours, 16 minutes, which means we're going to have to pay special attention. What is our present inclination? I guess it's not as bad as it could be. Let me play around with this and see if I can't get us leveled out. Because I think that may be more or less level. Let's give it a shot and see if, at least if we can get over here. So, let's see, inclination. Oh yeah, that is definitely changing our inclination some. We're gonna actually have to be very careful about that. I can live with that amount of inclination though. So I'm gonna get this guy captured, because that 13 minutes is when the other dude enters orbit. Or so. Oh, we do need to do some basic sciencey things though. And those sciencey things include collecting data that we simply do not have yet. So, let's see, did we get the crew report? And one moment. Okay, we are back. In fact, it is a day later for me. It's Independence Day right now, and I went ahead and cut up some of the video. It looks like we have some time, so I'm going to simply go ahead and do our science here. I believe we were going to do the crew report. Let's see what we got. The crew report is done. So, what can we do to get us some science? We can get 12 science immediately from that. And we can log the data as well. We'll just take that data that we have there and stick it in the sky. Let's see. We'll collect the data and reset it. And we'll observe that materials by... We'll get what little science remains out of this. If we can... This is the only thing about, trying to collect this data in the manner we're doing. Well, let's get some science back at least. We'll do that EVA report. And that will help us quite a good deal. Now, it is warning us that we have to update this guy. But, you know what, we're fine like that. I think in terms of our inclination, let's see if we can maybe make it a little bit better. How close are we to the descending node? Is it going to tell us? Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. But that's okay. I think it's going to annoy us with this guy here when we get back down. Let's see, we got 22 versus 19. Can we make this any better? I wonder. Unfortunately, this guy right here is so... That's good enough for our purposes, I think. Let's get in position here. know the refueler's coming in. We'll just close that alarm real quick, because we know that Bob is coming, and that this guy is coming too. Still a day on the other guy, and I think maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt that docking. I'm not so sure if I'm going to attempt landing, however. I think landing is going to be pretty tricky. Let's just get ourselves down just a little bit. I think we can make a small inclination change while we're at it. So we're going to do that burn now. Close are we? We should be pretty close. That's close enough for me. We're going to be able to effect a landing like that. Now, I think getting our refueler into this orbit that we're looking at is going to be incredibly difficult. So I'm not really going to bother with it. But, we'll grab the goo, at least. I think we found out last time. Oh, let's not jettison that shield. That could be a problem if we do. We have a crew report here, at least. Take our EVA report. Those should probably come out too. Can we get this guy? I will eventually get the Noseman family going. I just haven't had the time to properly edit it. I think we need to restore this module. There we go. Recovering that science is going to be a really good idea, I think. We can transmit some of that as well. It's just above the Midlands. Okay, after this is done, let's get the refueler into its proper orbit. We can meet up with this guy. So we'll jump to the ship. Okay, we're in a polar orbit right now, and I think I'm not going to bring this guy down that far. I want to get us more or less in the same plane as this guy. I guess it doesn't really have to be, though. Let's see, what is AP at? This is really nothing. So, I guess maybe the best thing for us to do, we've got multiple batteries here, and I think I disabled one of them. Must be the one here. Well, we'll leave that one disabled for now, and get this guy into an orbit. Depending on the time frame, I might actually attempt, after refueling, to land this base. because I think it's not a bad plan. And it'll strike one or two things off our list, and we definitely want the money as well. I mean, we're going to have to do our science with Bob at some point so that he's able to get, we really want to get a few things unlocked, and I think the, accelerometer is going to be the greatest of them. Okay, let's get to this point here. And we'll just get ourselves into a loose orbit. Really nothing better is needed than a loose orbit. But that'll mean that our CCP-3 will be able to get into its orbit as well. Okay, that I can deal with, and looking at our fuel reserves, we still have a ton of fuel. We have enough probably to get into the orbit we want to. If not, well, I can send a special satellite that's not so, maybe the Solaris, because the Solaris isn't really something we need, or we might send a test of the new landing stack for Duna to Minmus first. Anyway, let's jump to the sky here. I guess maybe we can see how much time acceleration we can get out here. There we go. Okay, let's jump to the ship. We do have enough, at least, to get into orbit, and that's the plan, at least. This guy, it may actually matter how circular we are. Although, I don't know, it's not too bad. We'll set this guy as a target and see if we can first of all match inclination with it. Let's add a maneuver real quick. It's probably close enough, I would think. We want to burn opposite the way we are now. So let's do that. Maybe get this guy down to a... Okay, our inclination has gone up just a little bit. Still, we are much closer than before. Let's see what the minimum is on this. Now, I'm getting a little bit concerned with our fuel situation here because, I mean, I guess if we can get it down to 5, that'll be good, but I don't think that's going to be possible. And we've got an even bigger problem here, which is that we're not going to be very... Oh, we'll probably just run out of fuel, actually. Let's see, we're closest to our ascending node, so if we push our descending node down like that, we should get a reasonable... It's probably better that this orbit is circular, to tell you the truth. Let me fiddle around with this some. See if maybe I can't get this to be fairly close. We have a 2.9 deal here. Okay, yeah, that's the best we're going to be able to do, I think. So 224. With some amount of inclination, but it should be possible for us to meet up, and Bob can just sort of hang out where he's at. I think that would be a good idea. So that is a 36-second burn we have there. Might as well go for 18 seconds. Not much in the way of things that we can do to get these guys to meet up otherwise. And I think we should be good. I'm just going to very carefully. It's like I said, it's more important at this point that we get ourselves a low eccentricity. That's about as low as I think we're going to get it. And because we're further out, I'm going to align these guys here. And that's going to have the effect of dropping our periapsis just a little bit. So I'll get these guys lined up. I'll get the fuel out to them, and then we'll maybe do the landing, depending on the nature of that contract. Okay, we are back, and we are in on our close approach here. Several days have passed, as you can see, so, that is to say, several days in game time. We got some issue with the RCS balance on here, which will make docking this thing a bit of a pain, especially considering that this guy has no electric charge. Well, I suppose that's just going to have to do. We'll control from here. I'll get in kinda close. And we're actually more close enough. So I'm gonna slow down just a little bit. Get ourselves oriented in the right direction, and this guy is a little bit on the slow side, unfortunately, but that'll be okay. We really just want to make sure that we're properly aligned here. That's going to be tricky because our docking alignment, or our RCS alignment, is again not so good. I had not really balanced this well at all. But that's okay. We'll just get ourselves lined up here. And do our best to get dots. And that should do us. So there we go. First order of business, I reckon, is probably to get us aligned to the sun. We managed to come in such a way that the sun could not see us. That should work just fine. But, other than that, one of these guys, I'm going to lock it as a reserve battery. It'll still, well, I guess it won't gain electric charge. But we need to come down here and fill the rest of these guys up with fuel. And that can be a little bit challenging just because of the fact that we can't see everything. Oh, let's try this again. Okay. There we go. This guy has our fuel that we're going to deliver. And it should hopefully fill everybody up. Now, I'm not really in the mood right now to do any other landing. But I do think it would be a good idea for us to at least undock this guy and see what our electric charge will be at and what our delta V will be at. So plenty of fuel left for our other mission here. We'll just undock. And so far, this is going to be pretty good. Unfortunately, Apsis is way out there. but we're almost at our, well, we're sort of at our descending node. You know what, I'll leave this for next time, but until then, this has been Thy Lord's Roots, and I will see you later.